Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargaming Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. And for everybody who is just tuning in for the first time, this usually devolves into a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, being any topic at all, movies, literature, lowbrow humor, who knows, it could be anything. And so that's half the charm, I suppose. I suppose that's why a lot of the monkeys keep returning. And I can see a lot of monkeys already joining us today. I can see G Squared. Hey, monkeys, just checking to see if there would even be a show today. And I'm first. Yes, you're the first comment, G Squared. Blake D, Morning Monkey, Spite You. And then these boys seem to have a conversation about what they're working on. Oh, they're talking about the new Ultramarine. The next Gathering Storm box set with the Cypher, which is a much updated model that a lot of people are excited about. An Inquisitor Lord. I don't know where his lore fits in. I'm not that familiar with him. And of course, you've got the chapter master himself of the Ultramarines. Is it Robert? I don't know. Gilliman, anyway. And so the Primarch, he's back. The Primarch is back. It's a really nice sculpt. I like the Cypher sculpt. Cypher sculpt is really cool. The Grey Knight duder, he's typical for a Grey Knight dude. He's just kind of in this little stoic kind of pose, and he's an old dude, and so he looks cool. Looks fitting. At first, I wasn't too sure about the Primarch's pose, as it looked really kind of animated. It looked kind of like wow, it was. And like Steve was saying, it was very Age of Sigmar, and that's what it is. It's Age of Sigmar kind of looking kind of model. You slap a bunch of gold on him, and he's a Stormcast. He's a Stormcaller cast, whatever the heck those guys are called. Anyway, but I like the model though. It looks cool. I like he's got the two options for his helmet. I think the model itself is just very, very cool. And of course too, he's gigantic, right? And I suppose he should be, because if he's got to fight his fellow demon brothers, he's got to be a good size as well, right? Because the guy just woke up, and he's gonna find Magnus is like this gigantic dude, and who knows? But either way, really good stuff. I like the new set. And of course the Eldar set beforehand, it was just awesome. Can't wait to get my hands on those. Who else is here? Ishab. Morning, monkeys. Good day, Chris B. Waiting for a great show. Chiguski. Good morning. Kurt Krishon. Not missing this week. Hello, monkeys. Nitfink. Hello, everyone. Tolo. There he is. What is it? I'm the D-I-V-I-D. D-I-V. Less drugs, buddy. Less drugs. Do less drugs. When you get a whole bag, you don't have to do it all right away. You can portion it out through the week. You don't have to just do it all that day. Just go hog wild. You can portion it out. Take your time. Enjoy it. Arturo Pertet, there he is. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, evening, morning, and night, etc. Ram V, hi, monkeys. Hi, Chris. Hi, Ram V. Cocking. My email for the Callous Assassin full latex has been sent. Sorry for the late email. Okay. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hey, monkeys. Hey, Ghost of Starman. Ghost of the Starman? Or Ghost of Starman? And is that Starman like the old Jeff Bridges movie, where he comes down, he's an alien, and he's got the little silver balls, and he's like kind of like E.T., but he doesn't really talk that well. Anyway, Fenrisian Grey Knight. Good morning, everyone. Finishing up on the last 30 Thunder Cav today. Holy man, 30 Thunder Cav. That's a lot. That's a lot of dooders. The Wounded Warg. Creed. Is it just Creed? Or is it Creed? I don't know. Lord Krabby, sup? Sup, Lord Krabby. Greenleaf, hi. That's it, just hi. You're not going to throw any sass my way? Clumsy Juggler, hello everyone. Lucian Valensor, morning. Morning, Kris. Mark Hill, hi guys, hi, Kris. Saba Cerez, yay, it's on. It is on. It's on, like Donkey Kong. Clayton Tate, hello everyone. Mad Cow Crazy, I'm on time. Shane Murphy, good afternoon, monkeys. Hope your layers are thin and your army's thick with rage. Thick with rage. Your army's thick with rage? What exactly are we talking about there when we're saying we're thick with rage? Like, no, not going there. Mad Cow Crazy, here is a question. Cypher is carrying the lion sword, so if they make a model for him, will he have the sword? Will you end up in a situation where Cypher can carry it and the lion will wield it at the same time? I would suspect that no. Maybe the lion wants the sword, and so he's going to keep chasing Cypher, and he's like, or if you have Cypher and Lionel on the same field, Lionel has the sword, and Cypher is like one of those little watchers. He's just like that little henchman. He's just sitting there, and he's holding Lionel's sword. He grabs it by the power of Grayskull, and he, I don't know what your deal is. Does your mother not give you enough attention?
Hey, you moved directly to talking to me?
Both of you. Ass clowns. Where are we? Lost my place now. Oh yeah, it's Lionel. Yeah, would he get the sword? I would assume he would get the sword. Because it's his sword, right? So yeah. Where are we? Tolo. Sing it like a Snoop says, DQ double G. What? Oh, that thing? Okay, no, I'm not singing that. I'm not reciting Snoop Dogg. Sandbags. Hey, Kris, have you seen the new Emperor model that got leaked for the heresy? No, I've not seen the new model. I knew that there was one coming out. I didn't know that there was any pictures of him. But I know, there's tons and tons of art, on him. So, I got a pretty good idea of what he's going to look like. He's not going to look like, a regular old space marine. He's going to, be embellished all to hell kind of thing, right? So, and gold and shiny armor, and but no, I haven't seen the model. I'll have to look that up. So, Gamer Ulfer, yo, monkeys and monkey masters, is there everyone sitting comfortably? Let's go. Matt Cut Crazy, are you mistaking Gilliman's model with the Emperor's? Yeah, that's a possibility because he's all embellished up to hell, but yeah, that's just the Primarch. Totem Lord, what's up, all? What's up? Data Wargaming, what's up? No, Mad Cow Crazy, there's a pic on Horus Heresy Inferno book where it mentions the Emperor of Mankind being fielded as he'll get a model. Yeah, I know, I seen that post. I seen that post where it says, the Emperor's getting a model. I kind of figured you would, right? You can't have the whole Horus Heresy and play out the whole thing without having an Emperor model. The question becomes, excuse me. Question becomes, is how powerful is he? Is he going to be, toughness 6, toughness 7, toughness 10? Is he got Eternal Warrior with Feel No Pain? And, is he going to have all these things that just makes him ridiculously hard to kill? Who knows? I can't see him being that much more powerful because, like the Primarchs, they're pretty powerful, but, they're not super hard to kill. It's not like fighting greater demons or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, it's about the same, I guess. But anyway, it's just you know what I mean. So like the Emperor, I can see being at least 50% better than all the Primarchs. About that range. Because it's just tabletop. It's just a game, right? It's not reflective of the lore. So, but hey, time will tell, right? Patent pending. What up, Kris? What up? No, Meg 23 looking extra evil with that stash today for some reason. Actually, I don't know. I might have to shave off some of the evilness. Or you know what it is? It's usually the chin hairs, because the chin hairs get really, really long, and they come to a point, and it all has this kind of evil Colonel Sanders like thing going on. So I don't know. Eddie Spirell, Kris. I painted Chromax beard a vibrant orange, and used Earthshade wash over it to make it look dirty. But what color do you suggest I use to highlight to make the beard pop? You used a vibrant orange, then used the brown. You can come back in with whatever vibrant orange you'd use. And then you can possibly, like if you don't have like a whole lot of the color selections available to you, you can simply add a little bit of yellow to that orange. Just a little bit, like maybe like a 1-to-1. And then just doing some fine highlights, just on like the high points of the beards, catch some of those the strands and stuff like that. And, go from there. And then another highlight would be to add a little bit of white to that. It gives you a bit of a peachy looking color, but that's fine because you're just going to be putting like that in fine little areas of the beard, what I mean? So like if the beard's coming this way, it's closer to the, like, how the beard kind of goes into the flesh, but then kind of comes out and then kind of comes back in again. And then, how it kind of flows. And so you're just looking to catch just those kind of high points, It's a bit of a zenithal thing, but, not quite. Lignar. So will you be getting Yanid and company? Yes, I will. Most likely we'll be doing painting videos on those because right now I've been doing the first one, which was the Celestine, Greyfax, and the other fella. I can't remember what his name is. I don't know. The other fella. The big fella. That guy. Whatever. Anyway. I'm currently working on Greyfax. Greyfax I don't see taking too long because she's a smaller model. And, I'm already predominantly through 50% of her just doing her armor. So, I don't think I'll be taking too many videos out of her. Patent pending. Colonel Sanders isn't evil. He brought fried chicken to the masses. But isn't that evil? Isn't that evil? No, wait. Isn't that evil? No, isn't that evil? Or that evil? Isn't that evil? Blake D at Kris. Yep, it's official. I'm sidelining all the other armies to focus on Custodes. Just saw the Custodes Heavy Dreadnought and Sisters of Silence. Sisters of Silence. Carrion. Wow, say that 10 times fast. Sisters of Silence. Carrion, Pattern, Acquisitor. Yeah. Well, you can't have the Custodes in 30K without having the Emperor there. What would be the point? They're his bodyguard, right? Why would his bodyguard be out wandering around picking fights? They're supposed to be protecting the Emperor, right? So, it would make sense that the Custodes would be there. Yeah. So, I think we'll be tackling an email. I think I'm all caught up in the comments here. I think we've already addressed everybody that's, here with us right now. Okay, wait, Data Wargaming. Look at the Warhammer community site, the bottom of the newest post live blog. There's new forgeable models just shown, including a Tyrant Siege Termes. I haven't checked out the website. You're saying that there is a picture of the Emperor there? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that? Do you want me to be retarded? Lord Krabby, off to play Blood Bowl, going to listen to the pod on the drive-thru. Wish me luck. Some Blood Bowl, some nice, uneventful, stress-free Blood Bowl. Yeah. I like Blood Bowl too. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should be playing some Blood Bowl now. I like the new dwarf models that they put out. Oh, they look really cool. I like them. If we get a box, I already know how I'm going to paint them. I already know. Let's do an email because we can. This is from Totem Lord. Yo, Kris, it's me again. I took a break from the Imperial Guard and went back to my 30K fists. I just finished my first Cataphracti Terminator, and this is my first time doing lightning effects. Can I have your opinion on them? Thanks in advance. Yours sincerely, Totem Lord. And of course, he forgot to send it in his first email, and so he sent it in his second email. And so here is his lightning effects. Now, I dig it. I like it. I think what you did was you laid out your base color and then you started drawing in your lightning and then you shaded the lightning. Or did you go in and re-highlight all that? Well, now I got to really see here. And don't get me wrong, it's really good work. Hey. Here we go. Or did you go in different? Oh, you did go in with different colors. Oh, you fooled me. I thought you went like with one color, like you did all white, and then you put the gradient on, and then that way you'd have just a gradient going all the way to the tip. You fooled me. You fooled me. It looks really good. It's not too crowded. I think obviously with lightning, you know, when you do lightning, it's not so much that the gradient is there. It's just that you have that thin white line kind of traveling through the lightning. But what you've got going on here, I think, is really, really cool. It does convey the sense of lightning. And so I would leave it as such. But oftentimes when you see lightning bolts, they often have just that pure white running the entire length, right? And so you could have possibly have done these colors all through the place, but with a thin white come in and then just kind of like wrapped around, you know, like it was going around and around each of the finger blades, or even running across them all. Although that would probably make them look a little funny, maybe more like tiger stripes kind of thing. But if you had them kind of just like, you know, like it was a coil of lightning kind of running around each of the little fingers, something along those lines. Let's see here. Whoa. Yeah, see, from the front, that looks really good. I like it. It seems like, you know, the energy's building up at the tips, and it's more, you know, like it's going to start shooting out from the tips of his fingers, which, you know, is a possibility, right? Yeah, I like it. Is this the last one here? Yeah. I like it. Like I said, like the lightning bolt, if you can do it really thin, it would start like mostly white and then run white all the way through, right? Or it could coil around, you know, like it's coiling around the finger. But this way is just as good. I mean, you know, and you fooled me. I thought you had put a solid white down and then threw this gradient on top. And that way, you know, you just kind of, you basically kind of cheat your way through it, right? But no, good job. I think that way works just fine. And I wouldn't change a thing. In fact, I'd continue on, do the rest of the Terminators like that. And I'm sure, you know, everybody will be thoroughly impressed. And assume you had spent many hours trying to complete this and make it look all spiffy for everybody and become the envy of your gaming group. Possibly. I don't know. Could happen. You don't know. Where am I? Brendan Calvo. Hey, Kris. Hey, Brendan. Calvo. Anyway. Cock King 555. Blood Bowl is tomorrow in the United States. Hopefully, well, it might be Blood Bowl. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Gamer Elfer at Kris. You recently touched on how to make your own wash. Could you please tell me again, please? As I can't remember which episode it was, and I want to make gray wash for white uniform for human team. Okay, well, the easiest way to do this, to make your own wash with any color, okay, and and have it act in a similar fashion to how the shade washes, like, you know how they have the quality of where you apply it to the model, and it all runs into the recesses, slightly tinges the surface of the model, but it all runs into the nooks and crannies of the model, right? Well, you can do that with basically any color within the range, with any paint range almost, essentially, and give those colors that quality. Very, very simple. You just go to your big box store or your local art supply store or whatever, but it's got to be an art supply store. You're not going to find it in most hobby shops. You're going to find it mostly in art supply. And what you're looking for is Liquitex Flow Aid. Right here. Little bottle of this should only run you anywhere from $10 to $15, and you get a lot. You get about 4 U.S. fluid ounces, okay, which is how many milliliters? 118 milliliters. So you're getting quite a bit. And I mean, like, if you can see the watermark there, that's as much as I've used, only because I transferred that amount, and you can see here, look how high it is still on the bottle. You can see it kind of swishing around. So I only used that much to put into this dropper bottle, only because I like to use just one or two drops in a mixture. So I just grab a little thing, put 1 or 2 drops in, and that's enough to change the properties so that it becomes a shade wash. So, for example, doing white helmet. Say I was going to do a white helmet, I would do it Uthran gray. Then I would take like something like the Fang or Mechanicus Standard gray. The Fang usually, because it's got that blue-gray quality to it, I take just a little dollop of that, put it on my palette, take a drop or two of the Liquitex Floyd, put that right in it, and then take a very heavy helping of Lemaine Medium, mix it all up really, 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 really good until you can see it starts flowing around like an ink and wash, and then just apply it right to the model, and you'll see it'll go like right into the recesses. It'll tint the overall surface just slightly, but it'll run right into the recesses, and it flows really, really well. And so, yeah, essentially this is all you need right here. This is basically, okay, for everybody out there, I definitely recommend you pick yourself up a bottle of this. Everybody out there, everybody. This should be in your painting arsenal, because this way you can change any color into a shade wash, and it's very, very helpful. For example, when you're doing, say you want to get really kind of fun, creative, and you're playing with orcs, okay, and you want to give orcs that really cool where they have like the complementary color inside the shade, inside the crevices of them, like red or orange. You can just take the red or orange, break it down to a shade wash, and do that, and you're done. And it's a really great way of getting lots of models. And I mean, like I said, I've been using this recipe for a while for a lot of things. And I mean, I barely scratched the surface. It's drops at a time I use. And I mean, like I said, it was about $10, $15. I think, the big box store, Michael's, had it for like, I think $20 damn near. And I went to a local art supply store and they had it on for $10. And so I said, I'm buying from a local art supply store. Unfortunately, the local art supply store shut down. So I'm kind of pooched on getting art supplies. I don't know any good places around here other than going to Toronto or something. Kind of just pissed me out. But anyway, that's a whole different bag. So Geimer. Anyway, hopefully that helps explain. Like I said, it's really, really simple. You just take a little bit of your paint, put it on your palette, take 1 or 2 drops of that Liquitex Floyd, take another good helping of Lemaine Medium or whatever kind of mixing medium you have, mix that in really thoroughly, and you'll have a nice little shade wash, and you can just apply it right to all the little areas you want, and it'll creep. You can apply it fairly generously. I wouldn't apply it like so heavy that it just kind of gloms on. Not like that, because nobody applies a shade wash like that anyway. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but just nice good covering, and then you'll see it creep into the recesses, and that's saying it's working and everything's good. So hopefully that helps. And whatever you're working on, send me pictures. I like the pictures. Kevin Leadbeater, for a wash, thin the paint way down and add a couple drops of Floyd. Yeah, see? Everybody knows. Everybody's paying attention. That's what it is. Everybody's paying attention. Patent painting, awesome claws, bro. Yeah, see? Monkeys. The monkeys approve of the claws. I think the claws look good. I think they conveyed the lightning. I mean, you couldn't confuse it for anything else, I don't think. I mean, when I first saw the claws, I said, lightning. That's what they were. Where are we in the comments? Don't know. Gamer Ofer. Kris, is it the same airbrush flow improver? No, it is not the same. It's Liquitex Flow-Aid. It's the only that have the only other company I know that produces something similar to that is Reaper. Reaper produces a Flow-Aid as well. It could be simply Liquitex, then they just rebottle it. I have no idea. But I know Reaper sells a Flow-Aid, and I'm pretty sure it does a similar thing. But otherwise, no. Airbrush Flow Improver, No, because that is a medium, and I'm not 100% sure what that is doing. And I'm not even sure who produces a flow improver. Who produces that? Because everybody just calls it a thinner, right? It's the airbrush thinner. And so a flow improver? No. No, it'll just be called Flow Aid. That's it. Flow Aid. Flow Aid. Not Kool Aid. Flow Aid. Okay, so Wargren, good morning, you peoples. Good morning, Wargren. Drewski, everybody get some Flow Aid. Get some Flow Aid. Tolo, order from Curry's online. See, order from Curry's. Yeah, but I don't order from Curry's. I like to be able to shop, see what I'm buying. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people on hand, they know what they're selling, and they can describe what what you're buying. They know what the qualities are. If it's a heavy body, viscous, whatever, right? So, Sandbags here. Hey, there's an amazing art supply store in Hamilton called Curry's Art Store, and it's West End, below the escarpment near the highway. Is that which side it's on? I thought it was on the other side. Yeah, I could go to Hamilton, I suppose. Hamilton's only a 40-minute ride for me. Be a good excuse to get out of town, I suppose. But, anyway. Julia Cormier. Hey, Kris, how do I get my boyfriend, patent pending 310, to stop playing 40K? How do you get him to stop playing 40K? I don't know. I okay, like when I was a young guy, my girlfriend at the time, who later become my wife, she used to tease me all the time, playing with my little dolls and things like that. And I mean, you don't want to build a relationship on that, right? Now, if it's nothing but 40K on the brain, it's like the only words coming out of his mouth is stuff about 40K. Then, yeah, you might need to distract him a bit more, take his mind off that. You might need to, both, get out of the house and, go for a walk, go for dinner, go to the shows, go do stuff together. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, like I can remember when I was a younger guy and I was really super excited about this stuff, the concepts of it all. I remember talking about it all the time. And I mean, I used to talk about comic books all the time. I used to talk about movies all the time. And as we get older, hopefully we just get more diverse in the things that we're just passionate about. And hopefully it's just a phase. Hopefully it's not something that, you feel like you're being ignored. If you feel like you're being ignored, well then, just like how a cat will come along and knock your stuff off the shelf, well, maybe sometimes you got to go by and knock some stuff off the shelf and get his attention. I don't know. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, hopefully it's just a phase. Hopefully, just get his attention. And without getting into too many details, I mean, or throwing out too many crazy ideas, but yeah, I mean, a lot of us guys, I mean, that are into this hobby, I mean, we're all big man-childs, so it kind of goes with the territory. And when we're really passionate about something, you can't just stop talking about it, right? And so, yeah, unfortunate, but hopefully it's just a phase right now that he's just kind of non-stop with it. Blake Deach, get him playing 30K. Kurt Krishon, flow improver from Vallejo is medium and a retarder. It's a medium and a retarder, the flow improver? Okay. Guy Mayor Kris, Vallejo do flow improver. Okay, Vallejo does a flow improver? Man, I'm getting tongue-tied here. I've never used Vallejo's. I wasn't even aware that they did one. But I mean, I imagine everybody else does. And I mean, okay, like essentially all a flow improver does, and I can't remember where I read this, but you can also do the same thing with, say, like a bottle paint by adding a drop of dish detergent, like for doing your dishes. Throwing a drop of that into your pot, and it'll break down the viscosity, and it should act the same way. I've heard that one too. I've never tried it myself, but yeah. And the thing is, though, is when you shake up Flow Improver and it gets really bubbly, it does have, like, how like soap bubbles have the multicoloring kind of going on, and it's all shimmering and everything like that. It does the same thing. So I'm wondering if they're, what that quality is. I mind you, I'm not a chemist, so I mean, I can't really explain, exactly what the dynamics are between what these, molecules are doing with each other. But, all I know is when I add a drop of that, it acts like a flow. It acts like shade wash. Mad Cat Crazy Kris, what is gesso? Liquitex makes it as well. Gesso is for oftentimes for priming canvases, but a lot of people use it in like cosplay. To become like part filler and primer, essentially, is what they're using it for. But gesso, essentially is a primer. It's a really good primer. Some people have suggested using it for our miniatures. I'm just, the stuff is so thick. I just can't really get behind it, and I can't really, just kind of, I've got like a couple bottles here, and I I've heard people using it to prime their models. I'm an old dog, and I'm kind of set in my ways, and I'm not really that excited about taking gesso and applying it to a model by brush. Because these days I've gotten into airbrushing, and I know what I can get from an airbrush. I know what I can get from a spray can. And it's been a long time since I brushed on primer, and using gesso. I've used gesso for canvases, and that stuff's thick. It's like paste. So, Geimer, Kris, thank you. No problem, duder. Tolo, Mad Cow, gesso can be used as a primer. Yeah, it is a primer, essentially. Arturo Putet at Kris. I've been asked to paint a Zombicide Black Plague for a friend and a ton of minis, but I want to make a chromatic theme for all of them. I want to make a chromatic theme for all of them. What color screams zombie to you? I would say like if it's like a Black Plague. Dang. What about like a blue gray? Almost like like blue jeans, faded blue jeans, coveralls, things like that. A blue green, or not blue green. Blue green would actually be kind of cool, but no, blue gray. Sorry, a blue gray. So it's got a bit of color to it, but it's kind of light, and so that way when you start throwing on like rot and blood and things like that, it'll show up on the cloth. Whereas if you went with like black or red or anything like that, like you kind of want to go with desaturated colors. Is really okay. Yeah, that's really about the best way to go about it. Is your color palette could also be just a bunch of desaturated colors. Now you're thinking, okay, Kris, great. What? How do I desaturate the color? Very, very simple. Say for example you're using Citadel colors. I don't know what colors you're using, but just simply take whatever color you want. Say if it's a mid-tone red. Say for example like Evil Sun Scarlet, and you add in, say, Dawnstone, which when you look at the two colors, when you look at the values of brightness, kind of the luminosity of them, they're almost the same. And so you can take that gray and add it in, and it'll desaturate the red, and it'll make the red go closer to gray. And that's that's desaturating the color. Is when the color is becoming very, very gray and very white and pale, and that's what you want. Not so much pastel colors, but just gray. Everything going closer to gray. It's not adding white and going to pastel. It's gray going through a very dull color. And I think that would work very well as far as doing a bunch of zombies. If you did them all in very dull colors, like their clothing is dull colors, but the flesh is done in that faded kind of green and purples, and then you had like the blood running down, and you had like flecks of blood kind of on the clothing, and it would show up very well. I think really what the defining element would be the blood on the models, and then that way that's really what the unifying thing is that they have all this grotesque blood all over them, and they're all scary and stuff like that. Hopefully that kind of helps. Yeah. I would either go with a blue-gray as a common kind of theme running through them all, or have them all desaturated colors. So pick whatever colors you like, just add gray to that. And of course, Arturo, you got to send me pictures of it, because I want to see how it turns out, because I think like really that would be the big selling point, is making everything look really like making the blood look really kind of grotesque. Even if you go for a dark kind of sickly oily kind of blood, like the blood is just it's just dark. That would show up really cool on a light gray, because then you can go to kind of fairly bright highlights and still keep some somewhat dark shadows, and that blood would just sit all over that, and I think that would look really, really cool. I haven't done any zombie models. I should do some zombie models just to kind of show some variations on them. Sorry, orange juice break. I got coffee here too, but I need some orange juice. I don't know. I think somebody spiked my orange juice though. Somebody being the wife. Tastes funny. Anyway. It tastes like paint. Okay, where am I? Patent pending 310. I think I'm in trouble. Spite you, yeah, that's another idea. I kind of figured that would be an obvious one, and I didn't really want to go with that one. But yeah, like Spite you says, have her start playing. Buddy of mine back in the day, wife wasn't really into it, got her into it, and she played and everything like that. And when I first got to here in Welland, a lot of the guys who played War Machine, a lot of their wives played. So, it's another way. I mean, it's kind of the if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. It's another option. Cocking 555, Way of the Brush, episode 146, 40K painting on the brain. 40K on the brain, 40K on the brain. Aaron Seach, or better yet, get your girlfriend into 40K as well. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Man, it's a tough one. I mean, it's tough. I mean, like me personally, I mean, like I said, like my girlfriend at the time we were dating, I was into 40K, and I was pretty nerdy about it, and she's teased me about it, and okay, whatever. But we also went to parties, and we also went out to show dinner, things like that. And then of course, married, life, kids, whatever. But she has yet to pick up 40K. She knows the difference between a Space Marine and a Chaos Space Marine, a Tyranid and Necron. She knows those differences. But she's never, I've never tried to persuade her into the game, because I knew it really wasn't her vibe, and so let her be. And of course, after a while, she just stopped bugging me about my hobby, because I mean, it's my hobby, and I used to tease her about her hobbies too. And she used to do some pretty dumb crap. She was into NASCAR and stuff like that. I mean, like, how hillbilly can you get? And so whatever, right? And you kind of just let each other be, accept each other for who you are. And I mean, as long as you don't go, as long as you don't go full retard over these things, you just kind of accept them. And I mean, down today, I mean, like she likes playing, games like Talisman. That's a old GW game. She loves that one. Never got her into Blood Bowl or anything like that. What's Talisman? Battlestar Galactica. There are a lot of board games. A lot of board games we play. Except Monopoly. We can't play Monopoly no more, because Monopoly is an evil game, and it tears families apart. Oh man. Guymer. Way of the Brush, episode 146. Hopefully it's just a phase. I mean, I went through many phases, and I know that there was a phase in which I didn't shut up about this stuff, and it was just really exciting, and the ideas, and just it was all very cool to me. I also love Star Trek and Star Wars. I mean, like, I wouldn't shut up about those either. So, I mean, nowadays, it's not that I don't shut up about them. It says the guy with a light up Millennium Falcon on his desk, and sitting here in his office late at night, Millennium Falcon flying around. So kind of just accept Really, that's about all I can say. Is just accept, or that's it. Episode 46. Kris the Love Guru. I don't think so. Blake G. Episode 46. Terrible relationship advice. Like terrible relationship advice? Yeah. Possibly terrible relationship advice. I don't know. I mean, I've managed to stay married for 20 years. So, you just accept. Just accept. Ora! Hey people, total newbie here. Just bought a dark Shazir from Anima Tactics. Any tips on how to paint it? Paints and techniques, etc. Basically, when you got those little models, you want to make sure you clean off all those little mold lines on them. You know how like you can see like when like if it's a mold and there's two halves, and you can kind of see like where the plastic and it is kind of coming out like that. You want to clean that off. Typically, you want to use an X-Acto blade or a nice sharp, hobby knife to get those lines down. Basically, kind of just like you're shaving, and you just shave it down. Not like blade on edge, but blade perpendicular to the surface, and you just plane that surface across. Priming, you can head to into the big box stores, find yourself a spray-on primer, or find yourself a hobby shop and pick yourself up some primer as well. Typically, you'll find it either from Citadel Games Workshop or Privateer Press Formula P3 is ones that are very common ones that you'll find in stores. Of course, you have like Tamiya and things like that. But usually the common one is going to like say a store like Walmart and going to the automotive and house paint areas and finding the spray cans of primer. Prime the model. Painting, look for the colors you want, or if you want to imitate the box art, and then just look at the colors, what the box art is, and then just lay the colors down. I would stick with acrylic paints. Don't buy enamel or any kind of solvent-based paint, anything like that. Good paint lines are any range from whatever you feel like spending on paints, be it Citadel, Formula P3, Reaper, Vallejo, Scale 75, Code d'Arms, Army Paint. Army Painter is actually probably a good one to start with, actually. Army Painter still has some really good starter sets of colors where they have the primary colors, white and black, some silver, a couple tertiaries. It's usually like 10 colors they have in. They also have some brushes in there, and I think they'll actually have a bottle of primer. I think they'll actually come with a bottle of spray primer. And so Army Painter is actually probably one you might want to check out. Army Painter. The colors flow really nice and thin and smooth, and they flow great. And yeah, they're acrylic paints. They don't smell, and yeah. In fact, I would recommend that. Army Painter. They got these starter box sets, which comes with, I think, like 10 colors, I think. They come with a couple brushes, and I'm pretty sure they still come with like a spray can of primer. And it's all you need. It's really all you need in one box. And, of course, Aura, I have plenty of videos on my channel, as well as Mini Wargaming's Vault, on painting various effects, painting hair, painting eyeballs, painting cloth, painting, bone, what have you. Many different effects to be achieved relatively easily, of course, as well, that you might want to check out. But otherwise, yeah, I definitely would recommend Army Painter for you as far as just getting into this, because nobody else produces, I think, a good hobby first or like newbie friendly kind of paint set other than Army Painter. I think they're the only ones who do it, so good for them. Tolo Prime Bob Ross Gesso, no joke. I airbrushed it on. Well, see, there you go. If Tolo's models will survive it, I'm sure your models will survive it. Dr. Xantos, what's up, peeps? What's up, Doctor? Doctor? What's been happening? Did I miss much? Monkey business? No, you didn't miss too much. We just been talking newbie stuff and apparently giving out love advice. Anyway, totally, you missed Kris's relationship advice. Yeah, okay. Well, you give advice after 20 years of marriage and see how good your advice is. Arturo Patet, Chris, good tip. I was thinking of using like browns, but I hate browns, and I think it looks dirty. Yeah, um, I don't think I would go browns either because the browns they have that very warm quality, and with the blood, and no, I don't think so. Unless, of course, like you were doing like where they're really kind of the greasy kind of zombie, where like there are a lot of browns and the blood is like black, so something like that, even scarier. Kevin Eyes up. Any emails yet? I've done one. I got another one on the ready. I was just making sure that we're all caught up and everybody's good. Where am I? Dr. Santos. What was the relationship advice? Take care of your bitches and they'll take care of you? Yeah, pretty much. But that's sound advice right there, Doc. I mean, you can't beat that. Blake D, episode 145. You don't go full relationship retarded. Yeah, there you go. That's it. I like that one right there. That's it. That's the winner for me. You don't go full retarded. Everybody knows that. Oh man, yeah. You know what? And like I said at the beginning of the episode, and I say at the beginning of a lot of episodes that we talk a lot of painting and we talk a lot of what's under the sun, being everything in life. I think today's a good example of that. We're talking painting as well. We're talking love and relationships and acceptance. Oh man. Just trying to. Is there anything else pertaining to me? Oh, there's Johnny Wraith and Zydic 7. Is that the first time I'm reading that name? Yeah. Anyway. Aura, thanks a lot for the advice. I'll check them all. Yeah, I definitely would check out Army Painter, and it's armypainter.com. Armypainter.com. I think it's time to do an email because I don't know. The boys are talking crazy in here. Oh, make whiskey. There he is. Yeah. Aaron Siege. Xantos wins the internet for the day. Yeah. Let's do an email. This is from David? Yeah, David. Hi, Chris. I was wondering how would you paint Scarab Beetle Carapace? I was thinking of painting my Magnus in that style, and I have no idea where to even begin. Just because you like pictures, I thought I'd attach some of my Crimson Suns. They're a warband of the 1,000 Suns in 40k that uses the old 30k color scheme from the Wrath of Magnus. Thanks for the tips on the Carapace. P.S. Sorry the pictures aren't the best, but I am really bad at photography. That's okay. Right off the hop, I like the richness of the gold. I like the accenting kind of magenta and white. I think that looks really, really cool. It's nice and clean. I can dig it. The highlights look pretty darn good. Yeah. I'd say it's a very solid paint job. Here's some 1,000 Sun Duders. All in the classic color scheme. Very cool. Are you freehanding that symbol or are you applying a transfer? Because it looks pretty good transfer work if it is. Ooh, look at this fella. Yeah, it's a transfer. You almost had me fooled. Very cool. Ooh, look at this. Come on, zoom in. Oh, it's not going to zoom. Are you kidding me? Oh, how stressful. Very cool. Nice and neat. Nice and even. Yeah, I like you. Sorry, I'm going quiet here, folks. I'm just admiring the painting. Nice and clean. I drilled those gun barrels. Just because. Like that. Yeah, I wasn't 100% behind these guys, but now I see them more. I kind of like them more. Very, very cool. Again, nice and even, nice and neat. Look like good model prep to me. So, what was his initial question? Wanted to do scare beetle carapace. So basically, you want to be able to have the carapace be dark, but have that shimmer like a rainbow in it. Very, very easy to do. I do have a video in the vault on doing a similar type of beetle effect, but I go kind of really over the top. I kind of lay the rainbow down onto the model, and then what I apply what's called iridescent medium. A big old bottle of this stuff right here. I buy it from Liquitex. Iridescent medium. Really, really fun stuff. This is really fun stuff. It basically it dries with this pearlescence that it'll give to the model, and basically all you have to do is you just kind of lay like 1.5 kind of coats onto the model. I would lay like, you can apply by airbrush too, but I find the airbrush, it gets kind of chunky. You got to kind of ram the pressure up a bit just so that it all flows out, because it's got tiny little mica flakes in it, right? Mica, yeah, mica, and you know, it just kind of gunks up the brush, so I really wouldn't worry about our airbrush. But the paintbrush it goes on just fine. And what I do is I just lay one layer down like that, and then another cross layer, and that's usually enough. If you apply a lot of layers, it can build up and become really pearlescent. It depends on how much you want there. But yeah, so if you're gonna do like a scare beetle, leave it predominantly dark. If you want to have, say, like the edges have like color in them, like say going from like a red to a green kind of thing, and then you lay this on top, and this would give you like that really kind of wacky pearlescence that insect carapaces have. You can also just apply it just directly over the colors and leave just the black alone and just have the pearlescence running along the edges. It's entirely up to you, but again, this is a really great way to get that look. Now, to paint it, if you were doing this for a display piece and it was only to be viewed like in one way, yeah, that's a little bit more challenging, as you have to blend your colors and, you know, create some really bright white high points that creates that pearlescence. But otherwise, nothing is going to give you that shine like this, because this is really shiny stuff. This is super. I wish I could. Well, like I've got videos on this, and you can kind of see like the little pearlescence. You don't see the color though. That's a shame. That's the shame. That's not the shame, but it's a shame. Because when you apply it onto the models, oh yeah, it has excellent effect. And Ariel, the new model for Age of Sigmar, the sorceress who's standing like on that beetle, that's exactly what I was going to use on the beetle's shell, and have that along with all the other colors that play on the surface. Just, you know, haven't gotten around to it, you know. So hopefully, David, that helps as far as getting, you know, nice scare beetle carapace. I think for your guys, it would look really, really cool, especially because you got so much gold at play in it as well, and it just kind of adds to the whole shininess of the army. So definitely would pick that up. Again, you can pick it up in most art supply stores. Yeah. Greenleaf terrain. What viscosity is Marmot grease? Do you use that in the mustache? Yes, I do actually. Why? It's not a trade secret. But yeah, it's marmot grease. Marmot. Oh, nice marmot. Oh, I need a coffee. Coffee. So, where are we at? What time is it? Oh, it's almost 1 o'clock. Nice. I think we're clipping along at a nice even pace today. We're not too far behind, and we're already 2 emails in. 3, 2. Arturo Patet at Kris. Important tip, don't make barbecue while you're watching the show. I saw the Thousand Sun image on the mail, and when I returned, well, let's just say my wife's going to kill me. You're burning lunch or what? I know you get kind of trapped up looking at all those models. You go, ooh, look at that, nice, isn't that? Because it's nice and clean, and that's something like when you got a really good paint job, even if it's really basic and you don't even have a lot of highlights, just your highlights are nice and even and consistent. Your painting is nice and clean and even. It's not, the shade wash isn't applied in a rushed kind of blotchy kind of form. It's very deliberate and creases and things like that. People stop and look, and go, wow, how'd you do that? Did you spend a lot of hours? No, I just, did this, and, that's just good work, It's very rare to find, people willing to take the patience to get things, kind of done, So everybody's in a rush these days. Everybody wants the fast solution. That's why everybody's going to airbrushing these days, because everybody wants the fast solution to things. And I'm not sure, unless you're doing large scale models or large amount of models, airbrushing, doesn't compare to regular brushing. But I mean, if I had 50 Space Marines to get done in, say, the week, you bet your ass I'm using an airbrush. Yeah, let's do another email. This one's from Kris. And hello, Kris. My name is also Kris. I was wondering if you had time, if you could give me some advice or tips. The other day, I emailed Matt about painting partner program. He liked my conversion work, but said my painting skills need some work and that I should try back in a couple months. I've included some of the most recent work that I've shown Matt and I. Okay. So let's have a look at his work. Now, mind you, I have no say in what we do as far as the painting programs. So, I'm seeing your models for the first time here. Let's have a look here. Well, mold lines, things like that. I mentioned before, mold lines can immediately take a viewer out of the experience. For the most part, your painting is clean, even. You don't seem too reliant on the shade washes to get most of your effects, which is a good thing. I don't like seeing, especially with a model with a lot of metal on it, I don't like seeing a lot of, Agrax or shade and, things like that. It just, makes it look like the person's over reliant on shade wash to achieve their color depths and stuff like that, and they can't do it by brush. Oftentimes you get that with a lot of airbrush as well. They just don't get that same thing going on. Over reliance on the airbrush to achieve, the high points and the low points and things like that. This one, I like it. It's clean, really, as the defining factor would be how long did it take you? I kind of see some stuff here. I can see color running on the metal. It's tiny stuff though. It's not like one glaring thing is well, that really doesn't sit well, and overall, and the thing is with orcs, it's hard to spot bad painting because orcs are so ramshackle that it's kind of hard to see bad painting. But right here, I see a nice color gradient, And yeah, you did it too by hand. Okay, good. Because you did the edge highlight there. I can see a little brighter color. But you see how some of the color kind of hits into other areas and it kind of, makes it look messy. Now, I realize with orcs, you usually can get away with messy, but when you are trying to, show that you're a commission painter, certain things, need to be shown. Neatness, speed, and variety. See, like, I'm looking at one model right now. Or I've only been looking at one. Well, it's two models, but similar paint jobs. Yeah, so here, okay. Orkiness. I like the gems in the eyes. How you did the eyes. It's very good. Typically, the color goes the other way though. But it still looks really cool like that. So I'm just looking at the color graduation rather than, placement of color. I think really what it is that it's orc and it's all solid metals. I mean, for the most part, it's mostly even, but it's mostly metals. I'd like to see more colors usage, more blues, reds, yellows. Like, how do you tackle those things? You know what I mean? Here, it's like it looks good. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see more colors at play here. I want to see more things at play. Because it's predominantly all metal. Now, if I need some metal models painted, well then, guess what? Now, see here, okay, here we go. Orc skin, here we go. Orc skin. The painting looks fine. Looks good. Most of the highlights look like they should be where they are. I like this angle. I like that. I like the striation in the flesh. I like that. Yeah, I mean, like, for the most part, yeah, the colors are where they should be. I mean, it's even, nice and neat for the most part here. I think a little bit brighter highlight should have been up on the forehead here, though. What? That's minor. Old blood and guts. Now, see, that's the other thing is Matt's not into blood and guts. So this kind of stuff doesn't impress him at all. You typically, anyway. As far as I've known the guy. See here, unfortunately, this looks like Mephiston Red, Agrax Earthshade, provided the shadows, and then maybe Evil Sun Scarlet as a highlight, and that's it. So there's not a lot of depth. Considering how dark your metals go to black right up to metal. Got lots of texture on them. But the cloths and stuff, oh, nice wood. Wood's pretty good. That red is not there. You got lots of colors happening in the hat. Lots of transition there, yeah. I mean, but how come I don't see that transitioning in through the red? Very cool conversion. It's pretty crazy looking. I like it. Now, see, you did the skin a different way here. I mean, he looks like a bigger dude, but your skin isn't done the same way here. Your skin almost looks like layered or glazing. Is this a newer or older model? If I had to guess, I would say this is probably a newer model for you. Because a lot of your color transitions look a little bit smoother. Interesting. That's not it, is it? Oh, that was it? Well, that's it. Okay. So, hopefully, Kris, that helps. Yeah, it's a lot of orc stuff. I think really, like, you want to get on that commission painter side of things. You're gonna have to show some other models, some Space Marines, some Eldar, fantasy, different with different effects going on, and that way it gives you it gives the viewer and in the future client, an idea what your paint range and what your skill level is like, and then there's another part to his email too. Was wondering as a seasoned painter if you could go out and point out possibly how to improve my skills. Thanks again for your time and thanks for your quick tips. They have helped me along the way. Vault member for life, Kris. Yeah, so if you're a Vault member, Kris, then, you've seen all the videos, daily quick tips and stuff like that. And, it's just trying out different things, trying out different effects. Try your hand at blending. Try your hand at wet blending or feathering, glazing, layering, Try your hand at these different effects. Like that other creature, how you did his flesh was very different from how you did the flesh of the other guys. And I was wondering if that was the newest model or if that's an older model and you just kind of changed the style you did. But oftentimes a lot of people want to see, somewhat consistent looking results from people, right? And some areas, some of the models, like the paint looked like it was running into other areas. And again, you want to be as neat as possible, without killing yourself, of course, but, again, it's always about what the client wants and what the client, and of course too, he could have been, by the time you guys had your conversation, he could have been all filled up with, people. So, it's not like, take it personally or anything like that. You just keep going. You just keep going. Keep putting your name out there. Comments. What do we got for comments here? I think we're talking about the new Rowboat Gilliman. Rowboat? I can't remember where the hell I left off. Anyway. I don't know. There's so many comments here. I'm lost. Lost. Mad Cow Crazy. We're talking about Gilliman going to give his sword to my Saint Celestine model. She is not big enough. That sword is bigger than her. Even with her flying, that sword is probably bigger than her in total height. So, Axis 762 at Kris. Why do you hate us Slanesh players so much? If they get rid of her, I won't have any army anymore. Demons. I don't hate Slanesh. It's just this is bottom of the Chaos Gods, man. Just bottom of the Chaos Gods. I realize, he's the young Chaos God, or she, it was, is a young Chaos God, but it's hard to depict the god of excess without getting a little bit R-rated. And over the years, Games Workshop's been very flip-floppy about how they like to depict Slanesh. There's no consistency. Khorne, pretty consistent how they depicted Khorne. Nurgle, pretty consistent how they depicted Nurgle. Tzeentch, pretty consistent how they've presented Tzeentch. Slanesh has been around, like as far as the writing and the game and stuff like that, game universe, has been around for quite a long time. And there's been no consistency in how you depict the god of pleasure, the god of excess. You know what I mean? Like, again, like I said, without going to R rating. Because staying within the G rating and depicting the god of excess, or the god of pleasure. Like, how do you do it? How do you do it? That's the challenge, right? And 40K even, they kind of give you an answer, like the noise marines, they're just playing the music so loud that their eardrums are bursting, and the colors on their armor, like the old noise marines, they used to look like harlequins almost, like with space marine armor. They'd have like all these crazy colors all over and stuff all over them, because the visual assault, of the excessive visual assault of the colors and stuff like that on their senses, as well as the music, because the music is real loud. It's the auditory senses, and so I mean, it makes great, late night cinema kind of Skinemax kind of movie kind of material, but in the war game, not so much, Lucien Velenor. Anyway, Kris, can we check out Infinity Joan of Arc model? I posted on Way the Brush Facebook page. Curious to get your critique on it. Yeah, I suppose we can. It might take me a moment. Oh, you know what? I'm not logged in on this computer, I think. On that. Maybe I am. Guess we're going to find out. No, I'm not. Okay, fine. See, this is why if you want your model done, send it in an email. Mainly because Kris is not the fastest of typers. Or remembers which password is correct. Because Kris also runs through quite a few passwords. Oh, you're lucky. I'm one of those guys that's got like a bazillion different passwords for things. So do you think I can remember what passwords are for what? No. Okay, and so it was in posts, right? And you posted it. When did you post it? When did you post it? That's not my post. How do I get to your posts? Oh, you posted this on the 24th? Okay. What the hell? Oh, see, it said this is an email. Oh, now it's taking me to frickin' Imager? Are you frickin' kidding me? Okay, now I'm getting mad. All right, here we go. Here's Lucien's model. I like it. It's nice and clean, Now, I don't think you were going for any non-metallic metal effects or anything like that, were you? I don't think you were. The sword, the gradient from here looks pretty cool. Looks very clean. The hair looks very cool. Red on the cloth looks alright. Now, I don't know if that is primer or if that is the pewter of the model, creating all like that really kind of rough texture on the face. If it's primer, you got to be careful how heavy you prime your model, because I noticed you see kind of a bumpy surface. So you do have to be mindful of that, of over priming. You can see this one part running over a breast here. I don't know if that is a mold line or not, but again, be mindful of those. Just a really sharp X-Acto blade will take care of those, really. Yeah, the sword looks alright. Sword, I thought the gradient ran further down the blade, but it seems like it's further up the blade. Oh, was that it? That looked longer than before. Yeah, I thought the blade went further. Otherwise, yeah, really good work. I like it. It's clean, There's, not a whole lot going on, but that's fine. I mean, you don't need a whole lot. I know, like, a lot of the box art, is shown. It is your first non-metallic metal effect. on the sword or on the armor? If it's your armor, then you need more contrasts going on. And your colors need to run the opposite direction. If you're going for a non-metallic metal, see on her shoulder armor here, the color has to start darker up here and get brighter as you get to the bottom, and then you put that edge highlight along it. That little armor plate, darker at the top, lighter at the bottom. The breast, darker at the top, and then get lighter at about halfway mark, and then you can actually get darker again. And the curved surfaces like that, you can. It's kind of like the horizon line almost. You'll see. Thigh armor again gets darker, gets lighter, darker, lighter, darker, lighter. Typically for that. I kind of like it like this style. It's a little bit more consistent with how Space Marines and things like that are done, where it's just like an edge highlight. That's what I thought, which what we were looking at was an edge highlight. I didn't realize we were looking at non-metallic metal. Again, for the sword. The sword looked good. Yeah, I just the gradient. I thought the gradient went further. Where's the one picture here? Yeah, see how the tip here, and it's just fairly uniform here. At least I don't know. Maybe that symbol's in the way. No, it's one tone. And I would alternate it. So, for example, if for the blade here, if this leading edge, okay, you went lighter this side and went darker to this way. Then for the other edge, you had it lighter here and ran darker out that way. And then for the face, you could go, say, darker in the middle and go lighter out both sides. And that would give you a much more, non-metallic metal kind of look. Again, with the non-metallic metal, it's always about, it's almost like the gem effect, where the darker color is up at the top and the lighter color gets down towards the horizon line, essentially, is what it is. So again, for the breast, it would get darker here and it would run lighter. It would get to the horizon line, and then the horizon line would get dark and then get lighter again, possibly getting below, because again, you have this ambient underglow from the environment and things like that running up. The face looks good too. I mean, the face, it looks a little bumpy. I don't know if that's the sculpt or if that is over priming or too many layers of paint. I don't know, but I like how you didn't bother putting in red lips, blue eyeshadow, rouge on the cheeks. I like that you kept her face, human looking rather than looking all tarted up. But yeah, for the sword, yeah, I would run the brighter silver, get darker along this edge, go brighter along that edge, getting darker down towards the tip, and then the fuller here would be, darker in the middle, I suppose, and getting lighter to that end, and getting lighter to that end, kind of thing. So hopefully, that helps, Lucian. If not, then I don't know. I'm all out of ideas. Where's there? What are we? Time we here? 1:20. Lots of time. Lucian, he has a sword. Jabba's left nut. I don't know if I've read that name before. Jabba's left nut. I didn't know Jabba had a nut. I would have known. Marco Farias. Kris, have you ever tried Escoda brushes? No, I've not. Are they any good? Or where do you find them? Send me a link. I'll look them up. Yeah. Madco Crazy. To remember one of my passwords, you need to remember about 150 keys, as just only symbol is 4 numbers. Yeah. Lucian at Kris. Thanks for the tips. The bumpiness was the pewter, and I was afraid of trying to clean it. and make it worse. Yeah, it is kind of tough. I would have tried at least like taking a blade and maybe just kind of smooth that stuff off. Sometimes what it takes is, especially like if you were going to do it as a display, if that was just a game piece, that's fine. If it was a display piece, or you're entering for competition, then yeah, I would take the time to try and smooth those areas out. File, sandpaper, really fine grit sandpaper or something. But yeah. Johnny Ray, Thick Kris, ready for the Super Bowl tomorrow? I'll watch it, but I'm not terribly excited. I mean, my Steelers got kicked out, so I'm rooting for Atlanta because I'm tired of the effing Patriots, and their BS. So I know it sounds like some salty hater talk, but yeah. And the way Atlanta's been playing, I think they could. I think they got a really good shot at it. Sorry, orange juice time. Again, that tastes funny. Something in my mouth. Anyway. Gemini's, now we can hack you. Yeah, who isn't rooting for Atlanta? Come on. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I'm not going to be sitting there going, yeah, because I do enjoy a good football game. And hopefully it should be a good game. It should be nice and close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything like that, one way or the other. But yeah, should be a good game. Hopefully. Dane Davis, Kris, any tips on painting digital camo patterns on infantry models? Well, Dane, I do have a few videos in Mini Wargaming Vault on painting digital camo on Imperial Guard models, or maybe it was Scouts. I think Imperial Guard and Scouts. I think I did. That's the cloaks on the Scouts. Anyway, there are quite a few videos on doing camo, and I did some digital camo. But in a nutshell, here I'll give you a quick visual, or as I can say it, I suppose. Let's say, for example, you're going to go with a green camo scheme, right? So it's green, brown, and possibly maybe a lighter green. Say we'll go with those three colors like that. We go with the mid-tone green as a base coat over the entire surface. Bang. Then we come in with either the brown or the lighter green, whichever one we want. It really doesn't matter. But let's say either one. We'll say the brown. And what I'll do with the brown is I'll make like little squares and maybe like little odd little rectangles and things like that. And I'll just paint maybe like, if I'm looking at the cloak, I'll do like three. So I'll do maybe one up in the upper corner, one in the lower middle, and then one on the lower left, right? Then what I'll do is I'll take a little sponge, a fine mesh sponge, kind of like the sponges that you find in blister packs of like, pewter miniatures and stuff like that. You used to find the sponges in Games Workshop packs, but they don't do that no more. And so it's a really, really fine sponge. You can also find it in like in the painting section, the hardware section, for like, finishing brushes. They're just like a little sponge on a stick, and you can use those. You can just pull those right off and just tear a little chunk off and use it as a sponge. And basically what I'll do is I'll try and keep my movements. Like I'll take the sponge and I'll try and get like a flat surface of it, and then just kind of like just lightly touch in some areas just to give me that impression of that digital kind of breakup. And then I'll take the next color and I'll do the same kind of thing. I'll create little rectangles, a couple little rectangles, fill them in, of course, a couple little rectangles, and then with a clean sponge that has a flat surface, I will take and just kind of quickly just kind of catch some of those little areas just to give the impression of that digital breakup. And that's it. And that's really the kind of fast, easy way of getting kind of a digital camo kind of look. Just the base color, quickly paint some rectangles and squares kind of things, maybe just kind of together or overlapping, like it's a square and a rectangle, or, square and a rectangle, or two squares, or off center, and whatever, right? And then take the little sponge and then just kind of like in the two corners, create the little blah, 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 and it looks like digital. I don't have an example here, but again, in Mini Wargaming's Vault, I do have a bunch of videos on doing that technique, and also other techniques of doing camo patterns as well on Imperial Guard miniatures, as well as Spaceman cloaks as well, the Scouts. My cow crazy. I'd love to try doing camo on vehicles using the dipping camo picks. They do the texture, rifle stock, rims, etc. Okay, wait. What? Oh, using dipping. Oh, you like to see like the vehicles use that dipping method? Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be pretty darn tricky though. But it'd be interesting to see, because I mean, you have to kind of like start at the top and then kind of like run it forward, and then maybe fall it on its side, and then what underneath, and then the other side. You know what I mean? Like, because there's so many facets to it, right? Whereas like they do like the car rims. The car rims is kind of like they just dunk it in, then shift it, and then dunk the rest in, and and the car rim is done. You're only looking at one facet of it, whereas like a Land Raider, you got multiple facets to look at, right? So it's not. You gotta origami that stuff when you're putting it into the water, Keminize, Chris, did you receive my email from last week? I probably did. I'm willing to say I did. Is your name Tyler? Or Oliver? Or I lost where I was. Crap. Was it this one? No, we already did that one. It's this one. Yeah. But I think I did get your email, Kem. If not, send it again. Man, how crazy. Chris, you could do just one bit at a time for a vehicle with dipping. You could, but I mean, you'd want to have, like, especially if it was a camo pattern, you'd want to have that consistently running over the model. Now, if you broke it up to say just one half and you dunked it on, and then you did the top half and you dunked it on, like we see those things for like bigger objects. We see that paint sitting there, and I don't know. It just I think how you imagine when you imagine a cube and you open up the cube, right, and you see how the shape it takes, it kind of runs like almost like an H kind of thing. I think that's the pattern in which you would have to follow to do a tank, essentially. Is you'd have to start like with the top or side or front or something, and you just kind of go kunk, 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 and you know what I mean, and you're done. That kind of thing. I don't know if you go clunk, more like sploosh, sploosh, sploosh. I don't know. Does it make a sound when you dip? Let's do another email. This is from Joseph or Joe. Hi, Chris. My friend, Big Russ, suggested I send a few pics and recent work for suggestions, comments. You've had some of his orcs and a couple of episodes of your show. He's definitely got a cleaner style than me, but I think messy works okay for these plague rats. And so let's have a look at his plague rats. And they look like plague rats. And they're scary like plague rats. A messier style? Doesn't seem messy. Seems a little bit maybe more rushed is what you're looking at. But I wouldn't go with messy. I mean, I'm seeing some highlights on some areas and, some different varying tones, which is good. I'm kind of liking this guy. The color variation in the hand. I see a little bit more white in the teeth. Very cool. Always got the little green pustules and things like that. Gross. Oh, this guy's gross looking. He looks like he's covered in slime, or the what's that? Nurgle's rot. That's what that looks like. See, look glossy. Yeah, that is Nurgle's rot. You guys and your Nurgle's rot. Yeah, it's kind of gross. This one, yes, it does feel a little messy, but I like, you got the book going on. I mean, yeah, you got a Nurgle's rot covering him. I mean, he would be messy, right? Guys, You couldn't just hand this guy a Kleenex and say, "Here you go, buddy, wipe up." You know, it's like, goddamn, throw him in the bath. But very, very cool. I like him. I really wouldn't, change anything. I mean, I just take your time. But I mean, you've already got like some decent highlights going on the flesh and stuff like that, and and I would never have covered a model's entire robes in Nurgle's rot, but it kind of works. I mean, it gives them that slimy, kind of greasy, kind of clan priest appearance, which is kind of cool. I liked it. I thought it was very interesting, and yeah, so very cool. I would just take your time. That's all. I mean, like, if you don't want to if you don't want yours to feel rushed, then take your time. That was that. So that was that. Huh? Yeah. Anyway. Mad Cow Crazy Warhammer team is live from LVO at the moment, and I can watch this later. The Twitch I can't while I'm watching this. Priorities, man. Priorities. Meh. LVO overrated. Camonized. Mad Cow Crazy. It makes it sound like when you dip it and you're dipping it wrong and you finally slowly, or you'll rip the texture. Yeah, you gotta do it really. Yeah, you gotta do it really, really careful, right? Because there's a thin little membrane going onto the model. LVO overrated. Only the biggest Warhammer tournament in the world. Is it the world's biggest? Because I mean, Adepticon's pretty darn big, and I've been to Adepticon, and that was a crap ton of people. And I was watching the videos of the LVO, and it didn't seem that big. But I mean, I didn't get quite a whole, panorama of the action. But anyway, because Adepticon was pretty darn big. Adepticon, like, I've been to the Comic Cons in like Toronto, it's a big one, and they have like the big ballroom. It's just huge. Like the ceiling is like the way the hell up there, right? And yeah, like the whole thing was just full of 40K people. Now, mind you, I mean, there was just as much space taken up by Star Wars players, which means that I bet you the Star Wars tournaments are probably even bigger than 40K tournaments. And yeah, Mad Cow Crazy. Adepticon isn't Warhammer only. LVO is LVO is only Warhammer 40K. Okay, sure. I have no idea. I've never been there. Never been to it. Yeah, I've only been to Adepticon once. Adepticon, yeah, was a really fun experience. Yeah, huge. But yeah, because like Adepticon is like, I think 4,000, 3,000 people. I don't know how many thousands are at LVO. I guess probably what they're going to try to do is turn LVO into more of like a big con, like it'll have the painting tournaments, it'll have the vendors, it'll have, contests and what have you, just like all the other cons, which I think is fine. If they do that, they go that route. It's more conventions for wargamers, I think, because there's only Adepticon that's a pure wargaming convention. I mean, what else is there? What else is there other than Adepticon for wargamers? You know what I mean? I don't really know any other ones, because like you talk Gen Con, it's got wargaming in it, but I mean it's also heavy on the D&D and Magic and all the other stuff of geekdom, and so yeah. Whereas Adepticon, I mean, you can see its roots are heavy in 40K tournament, because the symbol for Adepticon is mostly the servo skull looking thing, right? So its roots are in 40K, but it's mostly tabletop wargaming. You missed it too. LVO is a large Warhammer, X-Wing, and War Machine. Oh, okay. Yeah. I imagine X-Wing is probably the biggest one there. I bet you the X-Wing is probably more, because, like I said, at Adepticon, X-Wing was huge. X-Wing was huge. Adepticon is a con. LVO is a tournament convention. Not sure LVO vendors selling products. You missed it too. It does. What does? It does. It was. I'm not sure what does. Yeah, LVO though, I can see the LVO becoming more like Adepticon, which would be fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, turn into more of a convention kind of thing. You know, although I'm sure some people go, oh, its roots are in tournaments, and yeah, but you want to get more people involved. I mean, you want more people for the tournaments, and the only way to get more people is to open up the outdoors a bit more, and invite more people into this thing and allow them to see how much fun it is. You missed it too, Kris. War Machine makes it one of their prime stops. Oh, War Machine? You think War Machine's the big one? I have no idea. Like, I've never been to LVO, so I don't know if what's the big game there. Because I mean, if they're covering both 40K, X-Wing, and War Machine, it does have vendors. Oh, okay, yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, so I mean, next thing is just having painting competitions, and yeah, it's a regular convention at that point. If there's vendors there, yeah, and if there's thousands of people there, then yeah, it's a con, man. It's a regular convention. Yeah, I'd like to know what's the big game there. Was it 40K, or is it or War Machine, or is it X-Wing? Because I'm assuming it's X-Wing, but I have no idea. That's just a guess, speculation. I have no idea. Anybody currently watching that is there and just happens to be watching this? Anybody there? No? I wonder of how many of you guys that watch me and shows like me, I suppose, go to the cons and partake in like tournaments and stuff like that, or do you partake in like the painting tournaments, or have you ever gone to any of the conventions like Gen Con, Adepticon, stuff like that? I know there's a few other ones. There's another big one coming up. It's another tournament-based one. Nova? I think this is called Nova. Yeah. I like to get a list of like all of the conventions, all the wargaming conventions. Well, even just basically all the conventions, all the nerdy conventions, even Comic-Con, stuff like that. Of all the conventions, so I can kind of plot out a year of just doing conventions. I think that'd be kind of fun. Especially the conventions near me. That way I don't have to travel as far. Despite you, Kris, one day I will enter the Crystal Brush. Well, the Crystal Brush is done at quite a few places. In fact, I think LVO is doing a Crystal Brush, aren't they? Is LVO doing Crystal Brush? I think they are. Because I know Crystal Brush does one at Gen Con and Adepticon. I think there's another one. They hold the Crystal Brush as well. But, yeah. Games Day, yeah. Games Day was another one. I've only ever gone to two or three Games Days. I've only ever gone to a few, and they were the Canada ones. And they were fun. The first one was really fun. And then the second one seemed to kind of scaled back, and then the third one was really scaled back. Yeah. You missed it too, Kris. Sadly, I don't know what game is the main, but I know that War Machine and X-Wing are bigger than 40K now. Yeah. Well, War Machine, because it's a big tournament game. But War Machine, I mean, like you're saying War Machine is bigger than 40K, okay? But if you were to say that to anybody in my area right now here, they would laugh. No. Even though, I mean, larger people, larger centers. I mean, yeah, more people are playing War Machine than 40K. It's an easier game to get into, and it's got a tighter rule set, and it's why it's steadily been growing. Same with X-Wing. And X-Wing, I mean, crap, X-Wing is almost like the card building thing, right? Where all you gotta do is buy it, open it up, see what you got, and go play it, right? And X-Wing's kind of like that. You pick your thing, you buy it, you open it up, and you play it. You don't have to paint it, you don't have to do nothing. There's no other hobby aspects to Star Wars than just buying and playing. Whereas 40K, it's buy, paint, and play. War Machine, you can usually get away with the no painting thing and just buy and play. But you can paint if you want. And I think that's the popularity there as well. Whereas a lot of 40K people, because the tournament scene really hasn't been that relevant in a lot of years, people don't want to play against gray armies. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to bring in a gray army again? Oh, come on, let's get the armies painted, right? And so a lot of emphasis is always placed on painting the army, getting it done. And so maybe that's what has ultimately hurt 40K in the long run. I don't know. But it's very interesting that you say War Machine and X-Wing are bigger than 40K. And I believe it. I believe it. In the tournament setting, I believe it, because 40K as a tournament kind of game, it's the rule says too big and clunky. It's out of shape. It's bloated. It's no good. War Machine's got a really tight rule set. X-Wing, from what I understand, I haven't played X-Wing. Well, I've played X-Wing, but I don't remember. And I mean, it's got a pretty solid rule set. And for tournaments, that's what you want. You want rule sets that are very solid and very concise. And when you come into disagreements, that it's very easy to work out the order of operations. That's very important as well. Where am I? Don't know. Back up crazy. The last grand tournament UK I went to was one where they had the new Dark Elder Codex on display. Interesting. Back out crazy. I went to 2 Games Day UK. Horrible events on all fronts. No one was allowed to do interviews. Sales areas larger than all the other parts. 3-hour queues. They mainly sold normal store stuff, which feels pointless as people would just pick up that stuff up at other times. No discounts, so why buying regular plastic models at Games Days? I never understood that one either. Now, the first Games Day I went to, which was Games Day Canada 2000 or 2001, and I was going because I was bringing a little wad of cash because I knew Forge World was going to be at the Games Day. And Forge World at the time, the prices were the exchange was pretty ridiculous, and shipping was really hilarious. And so I'm going to buy myself some Forge World stuff, and I went mainly for Forge World, and it reflected at that Games Day because Forge World had a great big booth, and the regular GW store was a decent size, I suppose, but the Forge World, they were packed to the brim with stuff, and they were ready to go, and they knew people were showing up to buy Forge World stuff then. Back when Forge World stuff was still deemed more expensive than regular Games Workshop stuff. Nowadays, Forge World stuff is like, some stuff is kind of cheaper than regular Games Workshop stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Where are we? Don't know. Let's do one more email. Because we can. This is from Painting Video Games. Dear Kris. I gotta start that. Dear Kris. I know you must tire of Space Marine all the time, so I'm here to doom you with some demonic infestation. Not those silly chaos ones, the good kind from hell itself. Where one man and his dead pet rabbit can stand between them and total victory. All except the imp are almost finished test models for a color scheme and picking out problem areas before I record a tutorial on how to paint them for my new project. I want to help people new to the hobby coming in through board games to enjoy the painting sides of things. I set up paintingvideogames.com since I will focus on video game boards like Doom and Dark Souls and post up tutorials aimed at getting their board games into tip-top shape. I'm having lots of fun filming the content. Not much editing after. Hopefully, in the end results, the people will off on the right foot and grow the community. We will always need more glue sniffers in the monkey cage. Glue sniffers. Yeah, okay, glue sniffers. Keep up the good work. I always look forward to your weekend live streams. Make sure that you tell your boss that some of us have subbed to Mini Wargaming exclusively to support your good self and excellent weekend streams you provide when fueled by coffee and their fine source of chuckles, informative painting noise to brighten up the weekend. Well, thank you. And, yeah. And so here is a Cackle Demon. Cackle Demon? I like these guys. They're like one of my favorite demons in Doom. I don't know why. They just are. It's just a big round bulbous head that floats around, firing out lost souls. And of course, Doom, just scary ass game. But I like the color scheme. It's nice and neat, I mean, you got like the coloring on the bone. It looks like the teeth. I mean, really, like you can pretty much just follow, I guess, the game itself to get your color scheme. But I mean, really, would you change it too much up? I don't think so. I kind of don't remember these guys having little limbs though. I know they just had like the big floating heads. I don't think the limbs are just done just because to stand to a base, rather than having them like on, say, like a flying stand or something. Either way, it looks good. Oh, look at this. I like this. I like the nice contrast you got going on in the little deep sections here. And even in between the feet and stuff, then you got the purple running through, and then you got this little slight color blend going on some areas. I like this. I like it. I'm not sure what I would improve other than, I mean, it looks like you're dry brushing some of this, which is fine. But when you're starting to get into like blends and stuff, you want to start getting into proper blends, or even glazing, I suppose. But yeah, I like that. I like him. He looks really, really cool. It'd be kind of nice if you had a picture. I haven't scanned through all the pictures yet, but it'd be kind of nice if you do have it. If there was a picture of scale, like either with a quarter or with like another commonly known miniature in there, Very cool. I like this color scheme. This light purple. Oh, look at this guy. Ooh, pretty colors. I like inside the gun. The flesh is really creepy looking. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. That's very cool. It's very scary. It's scary. Oh, he's almost got bum showing. Would it be inappropriate for a monster like this to have like a tramp stamp if he had like a big butterfly here or something? Anyway, very cool. I like this one. I think a little color separation from these tan parts to his flesh parts, something else to give us some separation. I think, so that the colors don't kind of blend together too much. Oh, he said he's a work in progress, though. Eh? Yeah, I think he might have said this guy was a work in progress. But either way, very, very cool. Thanks for sending that in. That's very awesome. Feel free to send more of those in. Yeah, he said that was a work in progress. Very cool. I like that. I think and I think having something in there for scale to just show, because I think those models, I think they look like they're quite small. So it'd be just kind of nice to see like how tight you're keeping the highlights and stuff like that. Where are we in the comments? Home Abado, there he is, joining us for the last 10 minutes of the show. Go Starman Deluxe. Big guy looks like a big fat looks like a big fat ogre. I saw sweaty above. Dr. Xanthus says got heat and sweaty. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Whoa. Comments are just flying by. Stop it. It's acting crazy. It's acting crazy. Oh my god, it's acting crazy. It's gonna blow up. Stay. Okay. And okay, we're gonna do another email because we can, and because nobody needs me in the chat right now. And so this is why Mr. Arturo Patet has been distracted, shall we say. Of course, this was posted for last week. This was 7 days ago that he sent us in, so congratulations, Arturo. Good day to you, Kris, and all the monkeys. It's been a long time without any messages, but I got an explanation for everything and the pictures that come with that. What else could a man want? For all of you that don't know, I was a regular up to last year when the Destroyer appeared. Don't tell my wife I said that. Little Mandy, Amanda is her name, decided that Daddy wasn't going to have the time to paint or sculpt or watch the show live or sleep or go to the bathroom or anything. So I got a handful, but I decided that nights were my new day, and without any more comments except that I'll sleep on regular 4-hour days for the last month, the work I've managed to do. Oh, so he's got some work. Okay. Look at that. He's got some OSL on his models. R2 has been painted. He's got some lightning on the swords. I like this helmet. I gotta take a closer look at this helmet here. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting highlighting. It kind of reminds me of the old school way of highlighting, where they do, like, I was looking at like the legs here, how the highlight comes way down like that. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so now we've got the Turtle Boy and unfinished Big Bro of the Turtle Boy. But last but not least, the modular castle that I'm starting to build is not a cake like the one I showed you 2 years ago of my wedding, but the last one won't be destroyed by clumsy drunken people, just clumsy little baddies. And so here's his Titans he's working on. 2 Reaver, it looks like. That almost looks like maybe a Warlord. Maybe. That's definitely a Reaver Titan, though. It's like this done like the old school Reaver Titan. It's very cool. And so here's his castle. Now look at this stuff. This is just fantastic. Look at the stonework. The rails. This is unbelievable, man. This is just awesome. And this is done to a 28 millimeter scale. Are you still here? I can't remember if you're still here or not today, Arturo. Yeah, you're here. I got the courtyard inside. Just awesome stuff. Now, are you doing this with clay, or are you doing with this like a sculpting putty? Because it looks like it's like a really thin wall, almost like balsa wood or something, and then you're putting this exterior onto it. At any rate, it's just really, really cool. Very cool. Oh, is that it? Nah, that can't be it. There's gotta be more. Aw. And like always, sorry if something doesn't add up. English is not my first language. All hail Google Translator. Again, though, I gotta know, dude. It's cardboard, okay. It's cardboard. 35. I don't know what that means. 35. But Arturo, this is really awesome work, man. This is just the texture and everything like that. I mean, it just looks fantastic. It's like, it almost looks like the kind of stuff that, you know, people go out and buy. Basically, that's what I'm telling you, man. Is this, you could probably get away with selling this stuff, because this is fantastic. Or copying it and then selling it. But the whole thing's cardboard. Okay, so like, okay, what is all the texturing though? What is the texture? What are you texturing it with? That's what I'd like to know, Arturo. Is it clay? Is it milliput? Is it, what is it? Because it looks like something. And I must know. I must know. It's just fantastic and like realistic textures here. Arturo, answer me. Anyway, really good stuff. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And of course, thank you for sending the other models in. again, the paint jobs, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like old school paint jobs, and I like, because I used to do my models that way as well. Instead of doing the highlights around the edges of the shoulder pad, like for a Space Marine, it used to be the top over, kind of like a zenithal type highlighting, but done, you know, not as well. And so, yeah. And again, of course, Arturo, congratulations on the little bundle of noise. Arturo, pressing a little tube into the cardboard, I remove the paper from one side and then press a little plastic tube. Interesting. So what is the castle? So what is it made of? Like you said, it's cardboard, but excuse me, but what is it? I'm lost. Is it like a paper mache? Is it? I gotta know, man. I gotta know. I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep until I know, man. Come on. Yeah. What time we at here? 57. We got 3 minutes left. While Arturo tells me what that stuff is made of, it's a lot of work. Every stone is made by pressing the tube. Now, again, remember, Arturo, English is not his first language, so, you know, is it cardboard or is it foam core? Is it styrofoam? Like, is it 2 pieces of cardboard with foam in the middle, and you peel the one layer off, and then you're drawing essentially or carving into the styrofoam? Is that what it is that you're doing? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Arturo. Foam board. It is foam board. Okay. Okay, it's foam board. Okay, thank you. Well, now I know. Now I can rest. I'm starting to sweat. That's how stressed out I was getting over that. Yeah, let's do another quick email. This one's real quick, and this one I think is going to be really impressive. This is from Kim. Keminized. Keminized. All hail Kris, king of the monkeys. I thought it was about time I send you some of my stuff I've painted since I last submitted stuff. Any feedback is appreciated. Please enjoy. YouTube handle at Keminized. Huh? YouTube handle at Keminized. Huh? Anyway, here is an impressive looking knight. And I just like the way you shot that. It looks like you got that yellow light bouncing off of it. Really dramatic. I think when you're trying to show like display pieces, I don't think you need to throw in colored lights. You just keep a straight up kind of normal light. But when you're going for something much more dramatic, you know, just to like, you know, accent or be part of addendum to like a showcase, then yeah, do that. But I mean, either way, I mean, it looks freaking cool. Love the blade. That really bright intensity, and you go to a black towards the edges. It gives the blade almost like a quality, like it's just starting up, like the power is just starting to glow. It's kind of cool. I like that. Nikoron. Now, were these shot with something else in the background, and then you just carefully cut it out, or did you shoot these in front of a black screen or a green screen or something? Because it just almost feels like he is just kind of cut out from an image. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but yeah. And again with that yellow light at play, really cool. Demons attacking the night. Very, very cool. That's pretty good. He kept this guy in depth with them and them. That's a good show. Good photography is basically what I'm saying here, man. Yeah, I like this shot. This shot's cool. Again, is there something black in behind them? Or are you using something just to drop out and then you just cut it out in photo? Or is it like a black cloth back there and it's just completely that black? Please let me know. Keminized. Are you still here, Cam? I don't even know. He might be here. But anyway, I like this shot. This is a really cool shot. Oh, look at that. What's going on in there? It almost looks like water. It almost looks like clear water. But something tells me that thing is red. Something tell me that plastic is red. I like the texture, how the beat up surface it is. Makes it feel old and dungy, and as you know, a lot of Necron stuff is. Who's this dude? He looks pissed. Really nice blade. That's really cool. Texture on the model is just crazy. He almost looks like something from He-Man. At any rate, really good stuff. Oh, look at this. My God, man. Yeah. Kem likes his stencils and airbrush. Very, very cool. Very cool. Really nice color scheme. I like this really aqua blue with this yellow. Or, well, the gold. Very, very cool. It's like almost like water or power kind of shimmering over him. You know, like when you're looking at like a pool reflection up on a wall and you got all those little patterns running along. That's what that reminds me of. Which is cool. That's pretty awesome, Kem. Ah, Necrons. Very cool. Now, Kem and I, are you like a commission painter? I don't even know if you're still here or not. But, oh, look at that. Very nice. This is the new flying discs for the Zinch characters. Very nice. I like the little symbol of Zinch in there. Whoa. Big crazy Beastman thing. I like them. I don't know if the rust needs to be that soft. I think a rougher rust. More like that blade. You know, this feels a little too soft here. Whereas that feels a little bit more natural. That's very, very cool. These Necrons. Nice color blends there. Really good stuff, man. Oh, I see. You put a little glow in the chests. That's cool. Give them all that powered up kind of look. I like how you done the cannons here. That's cool. That's some Star Trek warp engine kind of glow kind of look. Jeepers. That's very, very cool. What's this model made for? Or what model line is this guy from? Because he is not familiar. Well, he's kind of familiar. And if anybody's ever watched like The Golden Child, the demon at the end, this kind of looks like him. But otherwise, who sculpts this demon? It's very, very cool. Kris sighs because he realizes he'll never reach this level. Mad cow crazy. Dr. Santos, I sigh too. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I like that transition in there. It's really cool. Oh, that's pretty right there. I like how you go from that cyan to the magenta to the yellow. That's really nice. I see a ghost tint beside you. Now, did you spray this in white and then just ghost tint this entire process? If so, which way did you go? Did you go dark to light or light to dark, or two lights and then just kind of run the dark through, or what was the process there? Either way, that's really nice. Similar thing with this guy. Very cool. I like the nice contrasty black claws and teeth and everything. Looks so cool. Oh, look at that, a whole group of them. That's scary. Oh, this guy again. Who is this? What model range is this guy from? He's hilarious. Lots of texture on him, too. Oh, I've seen this guy before. Wow. Yeah, I like this guy. I like the skin. All that texture in the skin. Armor. Very cool. Is that it? That's it. Very cool. Thank you, Cheminized, for sharing that with us today. I really, really liked it. I'm just impressed. Your photography is just really, really good. Really dramatic images. I like that. I think with a showcase, though, like one or two pictures, like in normal kind of balance kind of light, and then go for a dramatic kind of shot, like at an odd angle and things like that, just to kind of put the model into the universe kind of thing. I think would really be cool if you're going to showcase your work. Because I don't know if you do commission painting or what. I think your painting is really fantastic. Your airbrush use of the airbrush is really good. And I think once you get used to doing things like actual blending, hand blending, parts and colors together, I think you'll be a master at no time. I think. I mean, you've already begun to master a lot of things there, and I think your use of color is really, really good. I really like the Imperial Night? Yeah, the Imperial Night with that aqua blue and yellow. Really, really cool. Really good stuff. And so we are, holy crappers, we're almost 10 minutes after here. Yeah, so I think we might have learned something today. We had a few laughs. We got through a few emails. And of course, we finished, I think, on a high note here with cheminized pieces. Nice little bit of inspiration, I think, for everybody, even myself included, because, again, I liked his dramatic pictures, which makes me want to just go and hit the studio with a bunch of the models and just make up little dioramas of, scenes and battles and stuff. Because, we got a crap ton of models here, and I could easily do that. Make just little pictures of crap, just all sorts of stuff. And so, yeah. Send your questions, comments. You want help on your color scheme, you want a piece critiqued, or you're a commission painter, you just want to show off your work and drum up some extra exposure, feel free to send me an email at kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Follow me on Twitter. Join us on Facebook. Again, Facebook, Way of the Brush. It's in the description below. In case you want to show off your work ahead of time, or you just you really want an answer right away, because again, of course, the monkeys are always informative and helpful, and it's probably one of the best audiences I think is out there. Probably one of the most intelligent, because we don't have any morons typing in dumb shit in the chat at all. Usually we just got some really concise kind of stuff going on, and of course everybody's always willing to help each other, which is most excellent. So, yeah. Oh, Way of the Brush t-shirts. Of course, if you want to look like a connoisseur of everything that is good and honest and pure with this art form, and you want to score extra lady points, I think is also another one, or man points, whichever way you go. Take care of your brushes; they'll take care of you, and I will see you guys next week in another exciting episode of Way of the Brush. I don't know about exciting, but maybe informative. Another informative episode of Way of the Brush.